Did I record that? God damn it! What's up, family? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is a little bit different. We're not talking about legal topics. We are talking about the year that we've spent open. As you guys know, a year ago I opened my smoke shop, Grow House Smoke Shop in Margate, Florida, and I wanted to chat a little bit about the challenges that we've faced this past year, some of the hacks that we've learned, and the overall experience of running a retail business, a brick and mortar, for a year. We just turned one September 1st, so I'm excited, but let's do a little bit of a tour of the place. Don't mind the hookah section. It's a little bit raggedy right now because we're looking for a new hookah vendor, but we'll talk about that and some of those other challenges. But let's do a quick montage of where we're at with the store 1 year later. All right, guys. All right, so I'm gonna set you down here to where we can talk a little bit. Obviously, it's a little bit later in the day. I left the shop. I got caught up. That's part of the issue, right? You go there and you think you're just gonna do like whatever work, like easy work that day, and then something always happens and you get sidetracked and you end up getting just inundated with work and getting distracted. But anyway, I figured once I got home we could do like a little informal chat, kind of like vlog style, of some of the things that I've experienced this first year of running the smoke shop retail business. I mean, if you follow the channel for a while, and if you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe and support the channel and check out my other videos. But if you were with me last year, then you know I opened up the shop, and prior to opening up the smoke shop, which is, you know, my retail space, I had never had any retail experience ever. So my primary experience came from running a service-based business as a lawyer, as a consultant. So I never really had some of these challenges before. So it was definitely a learning experience. There was definitely a learning curve, and there were plenty of nights that I laid awake crying, plenty of days I spent crying just because I felt like an idiot a lot of time. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I felt really freaking stupid sometimes because of some of the mistakes that I was making. But in retrospect, like, I'm glad that I went through those things because it makes me all the wiser, I guess, and I know not to make those mistakes again. But anyway, so some of the points that I wanted to talk about, some of the things that I learned, and these might seem you know, obvious. They might seem like duh, well duh, but when you're busy doing so many other things, running multiple businesses, or even just the one business, you get so wrapped up in the day-to-day stuff that you forget sometimes of like the bigger things. And like the first thing on my list to tell you is that employees are one of your biggest areas of risk. Not somebody coming off the street, not a fire, not a hurricane, not a flood. Your employees matter so much to your business, and it's so freaking important to get employees that are good quality, that ride for you, that will take care of your business when you're not there, because they are your proxy when you're not there. They are the face of your business, especially when you're not there full time. And one of the mistakes that I made is I got super friendly with some of my employees, and not that that's a problem. You can always be friendly with your employees, but there was definitely a line that was crossed at some point in the relationship with some of my employees where they got a little bit comfortable, and I would say it wasn't always good for business, right? It wasn't always good for operations. So anyway, but they are one of your biggest areas of risk. So if you get a bad employee, they can literally run your business into the ground. They can literally steal from you. They can mess up infrastructure. I mean, I had an issue where one of my security cameras was like unplugged. Yeah, unplugged, so I couldn't really see the retail area, and I always thought that there was something wrong, like tech wrong with the security system, when in all actuality it was just unplugged and like disconnected. So I thought that was really suspect, and obviously it came from an employee. I just don't know which one. I can't prove it. But anyway, I say all of that to say that your employees are a big part of what makes your business successful. So always remember to get a good quality employee, and if that really means that you have to pay $1 or $2 more, or $3 more, or $5 more, if it's within your budget to get a good quality employee, then go ahead and do that, because it will save you so many expenses later on down the line. So invest in your staff, invest in your team, and make sure you have a good cohesive team from the start, so that you can be set up for success. Right along with that is investing in a good security system. When I first started out, of course I had a security system, but it wasn't as robust as a system as I have now. So I did not have a camera over my cash register, so I could not see and I couldn't keep track of like all the transactions. And I got put up on game because I know that like if somebody was buying something cash, like your employee could literally slip them the item, ring it up for something else different, and then pocket the cash, and you would never know. Like you just don't, you're not none the wiser unless you do like thorough inventory. And I'm going to talk about that later in the video. But making sure that your security cameras are at all the points where you can suffer a loss. So if it's at the point of sale where someone is like, I'm buying this pencil, you want to make sure, if you have a suspicion that things are going a little bit wonky with your inventory and your numbers are weird, you want to make sure that if someone's buying this pencil, they're buying it for the price that you say, they're actually purchasing this pencil and not something else, and your employee is collecting either cash or card for this pencil, and it's being counted in the register. It's going towards your bottom line. So that's part of what your security setup is going to help you do. I'm so thirsty. Hold on, BRB. Oh, all right, I'm back. I got my little mystery drink from the Lickin'. If you're from Florida, you know exactly where I got this from. It's my little Friday cheat. Girl, it ain't nothing but a bunch of sugar water, but it is so good. Back to the security system. So your security system, you should have cameras at all your points of entry, plus your break room, your stock room or inventory room, and of course the retail floor from multiple angles. And there's lots of companies out there that can provide that to you. Another feature that we got later on this year with our security system is the capability to hear audio and to speak. So a couple of my cameras have the ability to hear what's going on in that particular place, and also for me to be able to talk to whomever is in that room. I haven't used it yet. My employees don't know that I can hear them, and it's not that I want to spy on anyone, but I like the ability to be able to go back and hear what's going on, see what's going on. Heaven forbid there ever is a problem. I kind of want to be you know, I just want the ability to be able to go back, and if there are any issues, I can go back, I could get the audio, I could get the video, and I have a record of everything. Heaven forbid something should happen. So if you can get audio, great. I suggested audio and the ability to zoom in on things. That is a great feature because you could zoom right in on what's going on, and you don't have, it takes the guesswork out of a lot of stuff. Heaven forbid you should have a security issue. The next thing I learned this year, and this is where I got lazy, I'm not even gonna lie to you, because I run the business by myself, right? So even though it's a family business, the primary responsibility falls upon me. This is my like baby, this is my child, right? So I got a little bit lazy, and I got lazy in the area of keeping track of my inventory. So although I knew like how many pieces I had in stock of one thing, I didn't know the actual like dollar value of everything that I had in stock. I mean, in the beginning I did, but as time went on and I bought more inventory, new inventory mixed with old inventory, I was not keeping track of how much inventory I actually had on the floor and how much inventory I actually had in stock. And I'll be completely honest with you, I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. I'm learning. This is like a whole new thing for me. So yeah, I definitely made a mistake where that was concerned, because my mentor posed a question to me. He's like, you know, well, how much inventory do you have, like dollar amount? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I was giving him like a roundabout figure, like an estimation, and he was like, no, you should know the dollar amount of inventory that you have in your store at all times, because how are you going to know like what you're really making at the end of the month? And I was like, fam, I don't know. I don't know. But you would think I'd be smarter than that, right? Anytime that you buy inventory, you should add it to the valuation of the inventory that you already have in stock. So if you've got $20,000 worth of inventory cost on your floor and in your stock room, and you buy another $10,000, it should be added to that. The other part that I learned the hard way is accounting is everything, and not just, oh, I made X amount of dollars today, or I made X amount of dollars this week. What my mentor was trying to break down to me in a couple of our meetings is accounting should be broken down by week, Sunday to Saturday, and then further by month. And it should be, what have you made within that week? What have you spent within that week? All your expenses, or what have you made and spent during the month, including your payroll, insurance, taxes, miscellaneous expenses, inventory. So you know exactly, when you hold all those numbers together, you know exactly what you're making and what you're losing, right? And I wasn't keeping a very good track of that. And I think if I had done that properly from the very beginning, I would have had a better control and understanding of the numbers in my business. And you know, I didn't, and I'll be completely frank with you. Again, I don't know everything, so definitely learned that the hard way, because my books were not that they weren't accurate, but they just weren't as detailed and comprehensive as they could have been. Another thing that I learned too was not to be afraid to buy inventory. So I think for a lot of us small business owners, especially people that are like a one-man show, you have this money in the bank, right? And you want to buy inventory for your store, but you're also afraid of like, shit, what if I can't pay rent? What if next month, or what if something terrible happens and I do no sales this month? Like, what am I gonna do? I need to have some kind of padding in the bank. And yes, you do, but don't let that paralyze you, because that's what I was doing. I would let that thought of the fear paralyze me into not buying the inventory that I need. So instead of buying 20 units of something that I needed, like a hot item, like something that I know that it's gonna sell, instead of buying 20 units, which would probably be smarter because I'd probably get better pricing buying 20 units versus 10 or 5 units, I would go ahead and buy the 5 or 10 units and be like, oh, well, if they sell it, then I'll go back and buy some more. But that ended up resulting in me going shopping every week, probably not getting the best prices that I could. And then I always felt like I was short inventory. So if I had a really good day and things sold out, then they were just out. There was nothing left in stock in the back. So don't be afraid to buy the inventory, especially on things that you know are going to sell. Don't let that fear of, oh my God, I'm going to go under this dollar amount, scare you. Because if it's a hot item, it's going to sell and you're going to make your money back and some. So don't let that paralyze you. That was like a big issue for me. Like, if you have the traffic, if you have the customers, and you know what your store sells well, don't be scared to invest in that. I mean, other things that don't really sell, they're not hot items, then probably not. You keep the bare minimum. But what my mentor explained to me is, like, if there's a line of something and 3 out of those, I don't know, 5 pieces of the line are your hot sellers, you would buy 10, 10, and 10. So you buy 10 units of the 3 items, and then the ones that are not so hot sellers, you'd probably do 3 or 4 of those. So you have the full line, but you kind of stock up on the things that are the most important and the hottest sellers. And I know to some people who are seasoned in retail, this is like, I don't know, ABCs. But let me tell you something, it wasn't for me. And I have a hard time asking people for help and input all the time. I always feel like I'm bothering someone. So you end up having to pay to play, and you end up having to pay to learn. And that's kind of what happen a lot this year, and as I'm moving into my second year, I'm learning that there's lots of people out there that are willing to help you, mentor you, coach you, and talk to you, and give you insight. You don't always have to follow their advice, but it's worth it sometimes, right? Because I've made mistakes, and hopefully you don't make the mistakes that I've made, but you know, sometimes you just gotta lose to win. My final point, as a tangent onto what I just said, is to continue learning, continue asking questions, make mistakes. It's gonna happen. Don't gamble your money by any means, but please don't beat yourself up, because there's been plenty times, especially like this week, especially this 1 year mark, I had so many goals and expectations for what was going to happen this first year. Some of my benchmarks I hit, but others I did not. And you know, I'm not the type of person that's accustomed to like huge failure, so any sort of like not hitting the mark or missing the mark it takes a huge toll on me as a person, because I'm a perfectionist by nature, right? So not only is it a hit to your ego, but you feel like you're an idiot sometimes. And I did a lot of crying, a lot of sulking, a lot of like, oh, I don't know if I could do this, I'm not cut out for this. That's not true. It's not true. And it's like, you cannot beat yourself up. And that's something that I'm also learning and working on, like trying to be a little bit more nicer to myself and showing myself a little bit more grace. You know what I mean? I don't have the answers. None of us do, man. We're all out here just trying to do our best and break generational curses and be the first one in our family to like take these types of leaps of faith. And we're blessed that we can even do this in the first place, right? So we have to put that all into perspective and be kind to yourself, because I know that I am someone that beats up on myself. I self-deprecate, and I'm really hard on myself when I don't hit goals and benchmarks that I set for myself. And I thought that things would have been a little bit different at the year mark, but there are definitely places that I can improve, and I can be completely 100% honest and transparent about that. And you're not going to get that from everybody, and that's the last thing. Don't always believe what everybody tells you about their numbers and the success of their business. There's a lot of people out here that's just full of shit, and it's all cap. There's a whole industry of people that are taking advantage of small business owners and people who have dreams and aspirations. They're selling them a pipe dream. They're fronting like they live a particular lifestyle and they have all these assets and they've got it all together. Well, that is so far from the freaking truth. They don't have any of that. I mean, there are entire businesses that are built on like YouTube businesses, people that sit in their house and tell you how to run a business when their only business is YouTube, telling you how to run a business when they've never actually ran a business ever. So there's a lot of that going on, and you know, you've got to take that for what it's worth. Don't put so much stock in that. Do what you can and don't beat up on yourself. You know, keep a network of people that are there to support you and push you through and talk you through the tough times. This is a ride. Retail business, this is a ride, and child, this is so different than running a law firm, I will tell you that. But year one, so far so good. Lots of things I've learned. I'm looking forward to year two and the subsequent years, and I'm looking forward to having you guys on this ride with me. Share some of your your struggles and strifes and some of your successes in the comments. I'd really love to know. And if you have any tips or pointers for me, things that I can implement in my business, I would love to freaking know. If you have a smoke shop or any other retail business and you're using certain vendors, please let me know. Happy to chat and chop it up with you guys. Anyway, y'all, this video was really short and sweet, or maybe it wasn't, I don't know, but I've got a ton of other videos on the channel. Please check it out. If you've got any requests for specific videos, please let me know. I'm gonna end it off here, guys. As always, stay safe, stay kind, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.